So yeah, I've taken it for a good couple of thrashings now, getting used to the car, pushing it harder, which is a bit of fun. Tyres and alignment really need to sort out. Most of the time it's fine, but I get a lot of wheel squeal when I push it too hard, and it's concerning. So then I back off a little bit. But yeah, I mean, these tyres, I don't think they're the best in the first place, and they don't have a hell of a lot of tread left on them. So I might see if I can get some bigger wheels. There's 225s. There's not too much room on the outside here because it's spaced out, but there's a lot of room in the back. So I'll see if I can get 245s on those wheels, but I'm not sure I can. And then if we can get bigger tyres on the back, we get bigger tyres on the front. I put a boost gauge in. They're actually boosting about 13 psi in higher gears at high revs, which is pretty good. I think boost cut on these is about 14 psi, so we're pushing it, but I haven't hit that yet. And that's completely stock. I haven't done anything. We're using stock wastegate. There's no bleed valves or boost controllers or anything there, so I'm happy with that. We'll leave that. Yeah, going well. I'm never going to get sick of the sound of this car. It's absolutely amazing. It didn't come through very well on the drive video I did the other day, but I'll try and put a GoPro in or something next time. Just absolutely amazing, especially with the roof off. The filter right there, it just makes some amazing noises, and the exhaust is great, and hitting limiter, and you know, a few pops and bangs as well. It's just lovely. Yeah, it must be super weird for people that see this and go, what is that piece of junk? And then it flies by and just sounds incredible. And they're probably like, whoa, what the fuck? And that's what I want. So that's enough yabbering on. I think we're just going to put it on the lift. We'll check out how bad this oil leak is. One of the shaft seals in the gearbox is leaking. I've constantly had this problem with it, and I feel like it's the wrong seal, because I replaced the seal and it did the exact same thing. I think the seal might be too small. It's not letting the axle go in all the way, and the actual surface that the seal is supposed to seal onto on the axle is bigger, and that's the problem. So I have some E153 seals. I don't want to pull the axle out yet, but I might trial that, or otherwise I'm just going to have to go back to an auto parts store and hopefully they give me the right seal. Anyway, blabbering on still. Yep, let's get it up on the hoist.
Meanwhile.
Oh, so the point of that blabbering on is, I think a lot of the oil that I'm finding underneath the car is from the gearbox. That gearbox seal. I don't know that the engine leak is that bad. I'm also probably going to try and just RTV it in place, loosen the bolts a little bit, see if I can squeeze some more in there and then do it back up. I really don't want to have to drop the pan, and I especially don't want to have to pull out the oil pump and reseal that. So let's see what we find. It's always a good idea, once you put the car back together and take it for a couple of drives, to put it back up on the lift and check things out, and this is why somebody forgot to do that up all the way. So we'll take care of that. This is what I was talking about, the oil seal. So that bit there, where it steps in, I think that's too big for the seal, and it's pushing on the seal, which is a bit funny. But it fits fine on the step down bit just inside of that. So, as I say, I think that's the problem. That's most of the oil. I think there's a lot of oil underneath that. There's some here that we talked about before. The sump was leaking, and the oil pump there, I don't think that's that much, so I might not worry about that just yet. And just make sure it gets a warrant and stuff first, and then we can worry about that. But that, yeah, I don't want to pull the axle out today, but soon I think we're going to have to do that, because it's making a mess of my pretty no blue subframe. Otherwise everything else seems okay and tight. I hadn't heard any funny noises, which always helps. But yeah, we'll tighten that bolt up, and I'll just go through and check a bunch of others, and maybe we can take it for another drive, and I'll set the GoPro up this time. So just went for another thrash. Yeah, alignment's really bad. I don't know if you saw from the video, but the car's pulling me around a bit. It was a little bit scary, so I didn't give it too much shit. But little bit. Hopefully the video comes out well. I had the roof off, so it might be a bit noisy. Anyway, got a little bit arty, so just kind of ratted out the engine bay here a little bit. I've still got to put all the rust stuff in, but we'll do that in a second. I just wasn't sure how much it was going to hide, so thought I'd show you that first. So the inside door jambs as well, because they're really red and they really stood out. And then the boot, I quite like that little sign. My boot looks too nice for everything else now though. And yeah, so I'll put those rusted bits in the frunk and we'll have another look.
12 seconds later.
And there we go, that's kind of my vision that I had. The rusty cross brace, as you saw in my other video, I welded another bar across the middle there, just to reinforce it and give it a bit more rusty wheel, all the bits. So yeah, I quite like it. Though what stands out now is that this bit's shiny, and these bolts are shiny. Do I paint them black or do I rust them out? I'm not too sure. Tell me what you think in the comments.
Cyclists out on a Saturday morning. Oh. She got a little bit wonky there.
Yeah, she's a bit twitchy.
Smell that rubber.
Yeah.
That's that huffing and puffing.
Eventually.
Hey guys, you would have seen from my other videos, we got the blue car up and running, dyno tuned and all of that. I am going to pull the wastegate out today and port that so we can sort the boost creep issue, and hopefully we'll get some better street pulls. Anyway, the S-dub, I think I put some videos from a road drive the other day with my brother filming. Should be a lot better for you. Had a little bit of a problem getting in my garage with the bumper, and I ripped this whole section here nearly off. Did some damage on the other side here too. Really can't be bothered doing any fiberglass or anything on this. Just don't have the time and energy for wasting time on this car, but got a good fix here. So, and it works with the rusty theme. So just basically just a patch from like a patch panel from the parts car like this, and I just kind of shape it, put some bolts and screws through it, make it look, you know, who cares? It's a RatRod, who cares what it looks like? But it had a really low section here, which I've trimmed about 20mm off, if there was anything left after smashing it. But that was always a problem, because even on the road, like, it would just bounce, and that bit, this section here and this section there, would always scrape on the ground because it was just that low. So the 20mm clearance will help. Cut it straighter so it's a lot thinner, but this patch panel here will go on. I'll shape it around there. It'll hold all of this together better, and also give us like a little bit of a skid plate if it does scrape on the ground. And obviously I've already started rusting this up with this wonderful stuff. So I'm going to get going on doing this side, and I'll show you once I use the rust solution on that, and how it comes up like this. It needs a little bit longer, like a few more days, and we keep wetting it, and it'll look quite cool. Anyway, that's what we're up to. I've also stripped the Freeze GE apart. I'm selling off some parts. Surprisingly, people want stuff, and I'm actually getting a little bit of money for this engine, which I thought was pretty much worth nothing. So that's cool. That helps fund the other builds. And I'll come back when we've finished that other side and show you what's up with that. Alright, so there's a botched up patch panel, RatRod style, fitted. I'm going to deal to all of those bolts, tidy them up a little bit, and get rid of the paint. I'll be back in a sec. Alright guys, so I got it all rubbed down to bare metal and got rid of some of the long parts of the screws. not worried about bolts and things there, you know, RatRod style. This is what I really wanted to show you though, the rust solution. It's a 2-part step, and just to give you a bit of a background on the SW RatRod, there's a few butthurt people thinking that I've wrecked the car. It's not real rust. The car is actually rust free. The problem was that it's the red paint, it's so faded, the clear coat was coming off, and I didn't want to invest money into it. It was a $400 car, so I just wanted to make it cool. So the part 1 solution you get of this is like a paint that's really high in iron filings. So I just painted patches and stuff around the place, and then you add this solution, and this kind of makes it turn into rust. So it's literally just a rust paint. Everything underneath is perfectly fine. I haven't done anything to that car that can't be undone. Like the rear bumper, for instance, I have another bumper. This bumper, I have that bumper. You know, like, I can quite easily rub it all back and get painted and make it look nice, but I just don't want to. Putting money into that. So let's see if I can do this one-handed, and I'll show you guys. I'll probably actually I run out of the paint stuff, and it's quite expensive, but I'll do some touch-ups at some point. I'll do a video showing the whole process, including both steps. So this because this is just a metal patch panel, I'm just going to rust it out like it is, and you know, you can see straight away, bare metal with this solution on it, it's starting to flash rust straight away. Like, yeah, awesome. I guess it's some sort of mild acid or something. I'm not really sure. I probably could have looked that up, but oh well. You guys can Google it. You can figure it out if you're that interested. Yeah, just Dulux rust solution. And there's a copper one as well. I tried a copper one on my on the S-Dub as well. Just thought it might be a cool effect, but it doesn't seem to really work as well. So I took that one back. And yeah, so that's sort of what we're talking about there. So I literally just did that now. You saw it change colour before your eyes. This one I did yesterday. And it's had a little bit more time to actually start some proper rust, and like I gave it a couple of wet coats as well, like a spray bottle. Where is it? There, just a spray bottle full of water, which I'll do on this one too. So you kind of paint this on, let it do its thing for a while, start to rust, keep it moist, and then I'll probably do another coat at the end of the day on both, and keep it moist, and it'll just keep rusting. Just like these guys, it was the same thing. These are actually aluminium, but I painted it with that paint. Same with the grill. The grill's aluminium, but I painted it with that stage 1 paint, and then use this and made it go rusty. And that's how you do that, guys. Conveniently, it's pissing down with rain, so there's a good way to help the rust process along and keep it moist.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
So this weather is very conducive to creating my little rusty bumper accents. Very helpful. I probably don't even need to do a second coat of that rust solution. What I usually do with these rusty bits is either clear coat, or you can just rub some oil on them to stop them getting too bad. I'm not too worried with these bumper things, but yeah, I might just rub some oil into them once it's dry, just to stop it rusting too quickly, too far, and that's it, we're done. Okay, so we've got the bumper back on. That's what we're looking like with our little, I don't know, patches, skid plates. Got a bit more ground clearance there, not massive, but it's good. Yeah, so that's all gravy. The other thing that I just did is put on the battery switch, just because I've got 2 of these cars and I don't use them very often. This one in particular has a bit of a problem where the door doesn't always shut properly, and the battery's dead. So the good thing is I just switch it off when I'm not using it, switch it on when I want it on. I just had to extend a bit of battery cable back to the battery, and underneath here is a lid from a spray paint can, which I just put on there, which is stop anything touching it and shorting out the battery and causing a fire, because that won't be good. But yeah, bumper's done. That's it. Until next time.